Marla Jane Ragland was born on March 28, 1957, in Bryan, Texas, to Mary and Bill Ragland. She was raised in the country and is no stranger to hard work or a rural lifestyle. She hails from a long line of strong women and has always believed that empowering vulnerable and marginalized individuals is key to creating a better society.
Marla comes from a long line of feminists. Her grandmother was a feminist before they even knew what the word was. She was 25 when women were allowed to vote and never missed an election after that. So I inherited that, and Marla watched all of that, and as far as I know, she's been voting ever since. We lived on ranches outside of small towns, and Marla attended public schools, and there was only one high school, one junior high, one elementary school, and so everybody in the community went to the same school, and so she was around people from all walks of life. And because of that, she knew some of the things that were an issue with people. And we talked about that a lot. She was very observant and thoughtful as a child, and she really absorbed the ideas of feminism and supporting women and women's issues. And I think that's part of the reason why she took the job that she did.
Marla went on to graduate high school, where she was the editor of the school newspaper, received a bachelor's degree from Texas A&M, married her high school sweetheart John Johnson, and eventually received her MBA from Texas State University. Marla graduated with the intent of being a CPA, but when the position of executive director at the then-named Hays County Women's Center opened, something inside her urged her to put her knowledge and ambition towards a cause that she felt strongly about.
I'm a planner, and I had planned to be a CPA. I had finished my master's degree and was ready to take the next step when I heard about this position, and I just felt compelled to apply for it. I felt so strongly that this is where I was supposed to be, even though it didn't make a lot of sense. I applied for the position and they hired me. I didn't know much about the issues. I didn't know about managing a social service organization. And when I got there, it was pretty much of a mess. It was really under-resourced. We had a great shelter that the McCoys had built for us, but we had great staff and a great board, but we just didn't have very much to work with.
When Marla came in to interview, we had already been through so many executive directors in such a short amount of time. And when she came in, there was something very different about her. And we liked what we saw. She had character, she knew what she was talking about, she knew how to organize and get things financially straight. And for 28 years after that decision, she stayed on through thick and thin, through many challenges, and we're just so grateful.
Over the years, Marla and the always evolving and changing staff and board of directors at HCWC were able to build the Hays-Caldwell Women's Center into an agency known throughout the area and the state as a safe haven for community members who have experienced violence and abuse, as well as a place where women, children, and men could go to seek services and begin the path to healing from the abuse they've experienced.
Since the beginning, providing quality services to clients has been our top priority. Early on, Marla had the foresight to see the growing need, so she expanded the agency and enlarged the campus to meet that need. She was aggressive in applying for funding with state and federal entities and fearlessly asked other important members of our community for help. She was determined to find the resources needed for us to grow alongside our community. Over the 28.5 years Marla dedicated to HCWC, our services continued to grow, and we were able to grow from a small staff of 12 to an organization of 52 dedicated advocates.
Throughout her career, Marla was able to lead in the creation of a counseling and resource center, a dedicated children's advocacy center, Roxanne's House, a brand new family violence shelter, and the Center for Community Partnerships, paving the way for HCWC to serve tens of thousands of community members, as well as develop the community support needed for HCWC to be successful. Under her guidance, the agency operating budget increased from $230,687 in 1992 to $3,824,000 in 2021. She also worked hard to increase staff salaries throughout the years, building a positive workplace culture and helping HCWC compete with organizations in Austin and the surrounding cities to reduce turnover at the center. The list of Marla's accomplishments goes on, but one accomplishment stands above the rest when she thinks about her legacy at HCWC, an 18-unit transitional housing project for families who have experienced domestic violence, the first of its kind in Hays and Caldwell County, which will aptly be named Marla's Place, a dream which has been in the making since 1995.
Transitional housing is going to be a huge benefit to our clients at HCWC. We know that in the past, clients went back into the abusive situation because they had no place to go, no rent to pay for housing, no family members who could take them in. Now they'll have an interim space where they can work, their children will have child care, and they'll have the opportunity to get on their feet before they move on with their next phase of life. Marla has been so instrumental in getting this going. She has been the glue that's held the dream that's gone on for so many years and is finally getting it through to fruition when our project is completed.
When I started working at HCWC, I knew very little about the issues of family violence, sexual assault, and child abuse. And of course, over the years, I've learned a lot more. What I can say for sure is that these issues are worth working on. If we could successfully prevent future violence, we could solve most of the problems in our society. I've always been so impressed with the survivors who come forward asking for services. They show so much bravery, so much courage, and I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to have served in this way. I'm appreciative of the staff and the board and the volunteers and all of our partners. We've really made an impact on a lot of people, and I'm excited about what HCWC is going to do next. I'm really confident that HCWC is going to do great things.
I've had the privilege of having worked alongside Marla for the last 19 years. And during that time, I have learned so much from her. I'm excited to be able to build on the foundation that Marla helped to create. It is truly my honor to serve those who need us the most during the most difficult time of their life.
Throughout her tenure at HCWC, Marla oversaw services to 38,135 victims of abuse served face-to-face, in addition to countless others whose lives were impacted through crisis hotline calls, community presentations, and volunteer opportunities. On behalf of the Hays-Caldwell Women's Center, its staff, board of directors, and the greater community of Hays and Caldwell counties, we thank you, Marla, for your hard work, passion, and dedication to supporting members of our community who have experienced violence and abuse. Your impact on this community will last for many years to come.